Hi, Dr. Collier. So for my career choice presentation, I decided to pursue the career of writing. Over the 23-year course of my life, I've had many different interests and passions. When I was in preschool, all I wanted was to be a stay-at-home mom. So I would follow my mom around my house with my own doll, changing its diaper and feeding it just like she was feeding my little sisters and brother. When I graduated to elementary school, my imagination grew with me, and I wanted to be a cowboy or a princess, a mermaid or a doctor. When I went to middle school, I started reading more realistic novels and watching many American Girl movies on television. So I wanted to become a chef or a baker or an architect. Some days I wanted to explore my artistic side and become an artist or a graphic designer or a fashion designer if I'd watched too many Barbie movies that day. When I reached high school, my career choices or the options that I gave myself became a little bit more sensible. Some days I wanted to be a lawyer or again an artist, others a writer or perhaps a teacher, even of English as a third language, so that I could be a world traveler because traveling has always been a passion of mine. As I've grown up, my job interests have changed with me. So it's been really difficult for me to settle on a single career option that I really fully would like to pursue for the rest of my life. However, despite the many struggles that I've had in that field and in choosing a career that I think I would enjoy in the long run, there has been one constant in my life, and that has been fiction writing. I've always wanted to write fiction novels. I realize that making a career in writing is a very difficult undertaking, and it's not something that is quickly accomplished. But I believe it is the one career that most inclusively combines all of my many different interests and passions into one thing to prevent me from becoming bored and allowing me at the same time to enjoy the career that I've chosen for quite a long time. When I'm writing, I'm free to become anyone I want to, and I can hold any job I want. I can write stories about cowboys or mermaids or famous chefs or lawyers, and I can explore their lives and delve into them more deeply so that I can live vicariously through them and engage in those different careers even without having to train myself through them or having to take classes or college courses or go through any kind of official channels in order to have that job. Writing would allow me to delve into the worlds of those characters in order to embrace them more fully so that I'm not disappointed with the career choices that I've made because I can have a new one whenever I choose to craft a new character. Throughout my childhood, I kind of did this very thing, but not through writing, rather through reading. Literature has always appealed to me. It was one of the very few constants that I had in my life growing up as a TCK overseas because we weren't allowed to have very many things that could not be transported in two suitcases back and forth. And with my dad's career choice, it wasn't always settled that we would even stay in the city that we were in throughout the years we were there. We could have been forced to leave at the drop of a hat. And so having literature with me was a way that I could expand my imagination and explore the world without actually having to have many things, as I could read thousands of books on my Kindle. When I was in middle school, I was reading a book a day. When I graduated to high school, I was reading even more. However, when I entered high school and later when I came to college, I began to more deeply delve into the stories themselves and pick them apart for characters and setting and tone, combining all of these different elements together and kind of seeing how the authors had treated their story to engage the reader psychically and emotionally to transport them to different times and places. I've always loved English and literature, but as I've studied literature and writing in my classes and delved deeper into the language itself, I've developed such a greater appreciation for the language and have a renewed passion for it. And I've enrolled myself as a result in as many writing courses as I've been allowed to take. To my amazement, with my first writing class, I actually had a viable skill set for the subject, however rusty and unused it was. And I've been able to build on that skill set, and it's been a true enjoyment of mine, especially when I've been able to delve into creative writing as I was able to do with Writer's Workshop and some of my advanced expository pieces, and most certainly with the fiction writing class I have this semester. Writing pieces, especially again those creative fiction pieces, is something that fascinates me and engages me no matter how long I do it. I can be many different things when I'm writing, and I often am frustrated or elated or aggravated or amused, but I'm never bored when I'm writing. Boredom is the one thing that always manages to kill my spirit and leave me just completely sad and disinterested in whatever I'm engaging in. Boredom is the reason that I don't have a strong liking for my job working at a grocery store in my hometown. And it's the reason that I've quit a job in the past working in the food service industry. When jobs can't engage my creativity and my intellect, and when they don't foster my passions and interests for me, I lose interest and become bored, and I don't perform my best in those positions. Writing for me would not permit this kind of boredom. Writing would give me the freedom to travel, and I would be able to see the world with it. Because when I'm writing, the only thing I need to have is my laptop. I don't need to have a set office or a particular space that's designated to me in order to perform the job. I just need the laptop in order to type out whatever words I need to get on a page. So it would allow me to travel. However, on the flip side of that, because I am so introverted in nature, writing would also allow me to take a day or a week and just stay in my apartment, even in my bed if I needed sick days, and I could still perform my job effectively while not having to extend myself and exert myself unnecessarily. So as for the salary for writing, it really differs depending on which websites I've looked at or which authors or how successful those authors are. So J.K. Rowling, particularly when I looked into her, she was only paid £2,500 for her first novel in the Harry Potter series, which translates to $4,100 USD approximately. But she's a billionaire today because of her writing in that very same series. So a lot of websites I was looking at kind of took that information and made an average out of it somehow and said that the total for a writer annually should look something like $61,000. I personally think that is really highballing the career salary. So I would really expect to need another job to support myself in a writing career until I could successfully make enough money with writing to support myself. As for my immediate goals in pursuing this career, I really just want to develop the writing skills I do have through classes like fiction writing and through other courses that I will be able to take at Liberty in the fall. I would also be able to use the editing skills I'm gaining working in my job in the tutoring center to kind of foster those same writing skills and delve more deeply into looking at the mechanics of my writing, making sure that everything is working well. Similarly, I would want to begin looking for jobs in the English field so that I would be able to engage with my passions and also pursue something that would give me a set salary that I could enjoy and support myself off of while I was becoming better at writing in order to publish. So I would look for jobs in the teaching field, like the GSA position I'm pursuing at Liberty right now. I could look for jobs doing technical writing or freelance or copywriting, perhaps in editing or blogging as well. During the short-term kind of goal situation, I would also like to attend different writing conferences like the Right to Ignite that we have on campus. Unfortunately, I've never been able to attend that before, but I do think that attending more writing conferences would allow me to make connections with people and meet publishers and editors and other writers and grow the knowledge that I do have of the field. Perhaps one specific avenue that I could pursue with this is participating in the NaNoWriMo this year. I've done it once before in 2015, and I think it would be a really good idea to pursue that again in order to help me write a little bit more. As for my long-term goals, I really would like to make writing my career so that I don't have to rely so heavily on positions teaching or editing other people's works. So I would like to produce a complete novel and try and publish it through a reputable company. So in order to do that, I would need to be able to sit down and actually write the novel, which is something that can be very difficult for me when I don't have set parameters like I do with the fiction writing course I'm in now. So I would need to develop more self-motivation and be able to actually set aside specific time to dedicate to writing so that I would be able to produce the piece. And I would need to be able to incorporate that in my job schedule, in my class schedule at Liberty, in order to be able to see that come to fruition so that I could support myself through writing and not have to rely on other things. Again, I realize that writing is not going to be the easiest career choice for me or anyone else to pursue because it is very nebulous and picky in nature, and it depends a lot on the whims of the audience. But God hasn't gifted me with a passion for English and specifically for writing for me to just waste it and throw it away. So I do hope that I will be successful in my pursuit of a career in writing.